Good morning, everyone, and on behalf of Arta Galata, I welcome all of you to the 8th edition of the Bangalore Poetry Festival. Over the past few years, we've had the privilege of hosting some of the most artistic and creative minds from all across the country who have brought communities of people like you together through the magic of poetry in various facets. This year promises to be one for the books again, thanks to a fantastic lineup of artists and, of course, you, the audience, who have always turned up in large numbers to support us. Thank you so much. We begin the festival with a musical genius, a legend whose expertise has seen him transcend all boundaries from the Indian stage to the world arena. An artist whose versatility in the classical realm and in the field of popular music makes him a talent that emerges once in a century. A singer, a composer, an artist extraordinaire, and India's pride, we're extremely privileged to have Mr. Shankar Mahadevan at the Bangalore Poetry Festival today. Thank you so much, sir. Shankarji will be in conversation with Ashis Ghatak, who is the author of his biography, The Musical Maverick, the first and only authorized biography of the musician. He will be talking about his inspiring music journey and many other aspects. Ladies and gentlemen, The Musical Maverick.
Good morning, Bangalore. It's a pleasure and pride to be here, and it's an honor to be sharing stage with the living legend. I was absolutely floored when he gave me the opportunity of writing a book on him, and today, for the first time, we are talking together. So, sir, let us start from the very first time of your life. You know, this is a poetry festival, and I think in most of our households, in South Indian households, in Bengali households, that we get to learn poetry subconsciously from the chants and mantras that we got to hear from our parents during worshipping of gods. So I think the same thing happened with you too. I got to know from you. So let us start from that particular time when you were inspired by him.
Firstly, thank you, Shiny, thank you and your entire team for giving us this opportunity to come here and present our book to the audience. And really, I'm very pleasantly surprised to see a full hall at 9:30 in the morning. Honestly, I had to give this time because I have to go for my own academy's function that's happening, about an hour's time. And you all were gracious enough to accept this timing, and I really thank you all. And this is a fantastic, and I got excited that, we should kind of reveal the book to the people at a poetry festival. That is what excited me the most. That's why I said, okay, let's do this. Because had it been some other, regular Bollywood function or something, then, it's not as exciting for me. So thank you once again. And coming to your question, firstly, calling living legend and all, legend means, career is almost getting over.
That's a living
feeling it gets. So I'm far from that. Abhi to shuruaat hai, actually. Talking about my beginnings, very humble beginnings. I'm from a middle class South Indian family living in a small suburb called Chembur, and we used to live in a 500 square feet flat. And poetry, shlokas, the great writings of Sanskrit, in households like ours, it just gets into you subconsciously. You are sleeping before even getting up to go to school, but my father used to be performing the puja in the morning. And those mantras, they go and they sit in your subconscious mind. And many years later, when you hear that somebody, hey, will you sing this Sanskrit shloka for me? Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam. You know that, you already know it. You've never ever sung it before, but you know that you've heard it, and it's already it's almost like embedding in your RAM, So, it's a fantastic feeling, and that has helped me a long way. So that is the beauty of our culture, So many things you hear, you don't even know that you're absorbing it, especially when you're a very small child and it goes subconsciously and sits in your system.
Yeah. And now to you, I want to tell you something. that he is one rare person that in spite of all the names and fames that he has, in almost every significant milestone of his life, he wants to be centered around with his friends. Not, yeah, of course there are so many other people, but definitely the first people that come in his mind are the friends, family, relatives. So sir, let us go back to that time, whom you love to call them as the originals. So let us hear something from the man himself about his own friends. And sir, you know, I have dedicated my book to those who value childhood friends the most. And I learnt it from you, of course.
You know, my very dear friend Javed Akhtar Sahab, he always says that you can recognize a person's haysiyat jo bolte na, or what is the person's aura, just by looking at what kind of friends he has and what kind of people are working with him, his staff. You know, the near India, the drivers and the people who work in the house, how many years they've been with him. When you see that, you understand where this person is coming from. And I think I also believe in that, because nothing like friends that have been with you since your childhood. And even now, my closest friends, for example, Sridhar is sitting over here, I know him for almost now 30 years now. So, you know, friends are right from my childhood. They've grown up, they're married, they've got children, some of them, their children have got married, but still it's the same group. Because they don't associate with you for your money or your fame or, you know, how many hit songs you've made. I'm still the same thing. Some people still, they call me Jadia. Jadia means fatso. You know, they still call me that only. So it's like that. So that feeling, I think they make you remain on planet Earth all the time. And you don't start flying on some other, you know, you don't reach cloud 9 because of your success and your fame. These people are the ones who hold you down, and they are your reality check. And if it's a good song, they'll say it's a great song. If it's a bad song, they'll say, hey man, they'll call a spade a spade. Yeah.
Excellent, and I'm lucky to know so many people because I interviewed some of your friends, Rajesh ji.
See, that's why the first film also that we made, it was about, I mean, not first, but one of our initial films was, it was about friendship. So I don't know whether you all have seen the film called Dil Chahta Hai. Have you all seen Dil Chahta Hai?
Yeah, they have seen this.
Wow. So I think, you know, audience के मन में जो है, I am kind of reading their mind. तो एक singer बैठा है और वो बड़बड़ कर रहा है, तो it's easier that he just sings a few lines. You want me to sing a couple of lines of that? I don't know. दिल चाहता है, come on. कभी न बीते चमकीले दिन, ओ दिल चाहता है हम ना रहे कभी यारों के बिन, ओ दिन दिन भर हो प्यारी बातें, झूमे शामें गाए रातें, मस्ती में रहे डूबा डूबा हमेशा समा, हमको राहों में यूं ही मिलती रहे खुशियाँ.
I want to take you back to your college days, where you won the first significant Golden Voice Award for another great song. And I think most of them don't know this. Please sing that song.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's very strange that now we are doing shows every second day, big stage, big arenas. But when I was in college, I mean, just passed out of school and I went to college, I was in 11th standard. And first time they were holding the annual day. I was in SIS college in Mumbai, and they were holding their annual day in a hall called Shanmukanand Hall. And first time I went into the stage side of Shanmukanand Hall because I was supposed to sing one song there. You know, now when we look at the stage looks so small, you know. I mean, but that time, first time you enter into the stage, you look at that stage, oh my God, and all those musicians over there with, you know, somebody having 3 keyboards, 4 keyboards, there's a lot of rhythm section over here. It is really intimidating, you know. And I used to feel, what a fantastic life these musicians have, you know. All they have to do is just play music, and they get so much joy. they make other people happy. They spread the joy, and also make money. So this is the kind of life that I should have, looking at, and I'd seen that keyboard. I remember that keyboard was a red colored keyboard. And I said, wow, my God, this is fascinating. And I sang the first song that I sang, and I got a small little, it was a college internal thing. I got an award called the Golden Voice of SIES College. And so this was the song. Musafir hu yaro, na ghar hai na ठिकाना, मुझे चलते जाना है, बस चलते जाना. और वहीं से चलते आ रहे हैं, इसलिए भी कौन चलते रहेंगे.
Yes. So before I ask the next question, just allow me to give you something, because my question relates to this only.
Oh. Achha, first of all, let me tell you about Ashis Ghatak. He's written this amazing book. I don't know why he chose me, but I was the lucky one whom he chose. He had to write a biography.
It's a privilege, sir.
And he's written a beautiful, beautiful book. I'm not telling because the book is on me. And the writing is fantastic. So even a dull personality like me, he's made it look very interesting.
Not at all.
and I accepted the fact that he should write my book based on another book that he had written before me. It was on the jazz legend from India, Louis Banks. He had written Louis Banks' biography. I read that. I saw how beautifully he had written it. And I got an opportunity to work with Ashis Ghatak. So let's have a loud round of applause for...
Thank you, sir. This is an honor. This is
Achha, let me ask you one thing. In poetry festivals, you are supposed to clap very silently, is it? Let's have a loud round of applause here. Thank you. That's the rule, we're supposed to be able to...
So, this is something I have for you.
Oh my God, this is amazing. Fantastic. This is, for people who don't know, this is an album called Ram Sham Gunagan. Thank you, Ashish. I'm really, really touched. This is the first time Pandit Bhimsen Joshi and Lata Mangeshkar, they were coming together to do an album. They were singing together for the first time. Two great, the greatest from our country. And why this is given to me is because this was the first album where I played Veena. So it was my first experience in the recording theatre actually. And I was 11 years old. And I was, shall I just narrate this episode to them?
Please do,
yeah.
Please do.
So this was the music is done by a very great maestro. He's no longer there. He's a Marathi composer, Srinivas Khaleji. And his compositions are a great inspiration to me because his journey of notes, they are very rare. The way he approaches notes, the way he composes, poetry to music, music to poetry, fabulous. So I was a big fan of his, and there was a common friend, and he was his relative. So I used to go to his house and all that, just as a child. So he was doing this album. And it took a couple of years to do this album, getting these maestros together. And he was looking for a Veena player because he was not happy with somebody who had already played the Veena in the album, and he was not getting that effect. So my friend, who was his relative, said, in Marathi, he told him, Kaka, how was it? Veena, how was it? I said, oh my God, why are you telling him, yaar, I play the Veena? He said, Nai, Arey. So he said, Arey, tu wado to uska hai? Ek kaam kar. तू वीणा लेके कल आ इधर. I said, यार तू कहाँ मेरे को फंसा दिया. And I was just 11 years old. So I took the veena and I went to his house. And he said, okay, देखिए recording करना है, professional recording है, studio में होगा. लेकिन मुझे, I want to know कि whether you will be able to play this piece. And believe me, the first piece that he told me to play, it was not a very ABCD kind of piece. It was quite a complicated piece. I'll tell you what the piece was. This is a music piece, which I'm supposed to play. da 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 da. This was the piece he wanted me to play. I said, okay, can you just repeat it once more? Then he sang the piece again, and I instantly reproduced it on the veena in front of him, sitting in his house. Then I didn't know how I played it. I just played it, and he said, "Wow, this is great. Tum kal recording ke liye aa jao." So that is how I got my first ever, I wouldn't call it a break, an opportunity to play with these legends. Legend of a composer, Srinivas Kale, when I was 11 years old. So if you hear Ram Sham Gurgan, you all must have heard this song also. Ram Bhajana Karaman O Manare Karatu Ram Bhajan Ram. Lataji has sung it, and the da 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 veena piece is played by me. So that is my claim to fame.
I would love to add something which Rajesh told me, that you got 650 rupees for that, including the taxi fare. And he was very happy because 650 was premium at that time.
Oh, I didn't even know that why I got that money. I got it, given it to somebody who had accompanied me. So they said, "Oh my God, you're giving it the money." I said, "Oh, I got money for recording. Wow, that's great." I was just in school actually.
Including the taxi fare.
But for me, this thing is that's something that's going to stay permanently as a mark of something in my lifetime. So what more do you want? Ashirwad, this is how my journey began. So this is the greatest blessing that I can get.
Great, sir. So to walk a little further, when I was writing your book, one thing was really, I was getting a thought to
What
ask.
made you write my book on me? First tell me that. Itne artists there, so many great artists there.
To be very honest, I love you and love your work. That is the simplest answer I can give, because I didn't have any for this. And I loved R.D. Burman the most when I was growing up.
I love R.D. Burman too, yeah.
Yeah, of course. And after R.D. Burman passed away, there was a huge vacuum. I just simply couldn't like anybody's composition, apart from a little bit of Jatin Lalit. When Shankar Mahadevan started, I found that I got a reason to smile, literally, not because you are sitting in front of me. I got a real good vibe, and I think I represent so many people out there. Because your music is so fresh, I never heard that song, that type of music. And then I found I have to write something on Shankar Mahadevan. And then Shankar Mahadevan himself told me to write. Excellent. I was so honored. So that is the main reason.
Thank you. I'm really honored.
And so before that Bollywood thing started, you were the talk of the town so far ad film music is concerned, because you were a very successful ad film singer. And at that time you got little offers from Bollywood. When I was writing book and when I was researching on you, I found that your presence in Bollywood, in compared to other contemporary greats, was much tertiary, though you were a huge figure in the parallel thing. You were singing a little bit of alafs to decorate the song, or whenever you got a chance to sing a full song, that would be lip synced by father, grandfather, street.
Correct.
So, what was your feeling at that time?
You know what, Ashish, I never kind of analyzed these things around. I didn't. First of all, I'm an engineer. I was doing my engineering. I didn't even imagine that one day, like I had imagined when I saw that first keyboard in Shanmukananda Hall, or when I had gone to sing some small little jingle in a studio, when I used to see these musicians, they come in the morning and they go out in the night, and and it's a fantastic day spent with music. I never knew that one day I am going to be a professional musician, because as a middle class South Indian boy, we were all following what your friends are doing, what is in vogue, computer engineering. Sridhar, my engineering buddy, was there. We were all in the same college, same class, finishing your portion, giving your submission. You are moving at a great pace, so you don't even analyze. But there was a parallel, bubbling kind of activity that was happening in my life, which is, I was being called to sing, jingles. Now, in Mumbai, it's a small city, but major amount of the work of the advertising industry, it happens in Mumbai. So I sang one it was just a matter of singing one ad. One ad I sang, and the news spread like wildfire. That who is this voice? What is this voice? Are ye kaun hai? Chalo. And the entire industry is like the music is being done by about 5 or 10 music composers. So you are pretty much exposed to the entire advertising industry just by one jingle. So this was a jingle that I had sung. Maybe you all have heard. This was the Cadbury's film, where this girl comes out of the audience and she starts dancing in the middle of the field. You'll remember that. So that, literally, they say that particular ad changed the turnover of the company. That was the effect of the ad. So it was something like this. कुछ खास है हम सभी में, कुछ बात है हम सभी में, बात है खास है, कुछ स्वाद है, क्या स्वाद है जिंदगी में. ऐसा अपलोड मिला तो अच्छा लगता है. So this was the ad, and it was actually supposed to be in English, And Louis Banks, the composer, he said, "Yeah, Shankar, can you just dub this in Hindi?" And Piyush Pandey, who's the head of O&M, is a very dear friend now, but that time he said, can you please go and dub? There was nobody in the studio. Me and the engineer was alone. And I looked at these words and I said, can I Indianize it a little bit? Because jo Angrezi mein tha wo alag tha, but I Indianized it and I sang it my way. And then I started getting a lot of advertising. So I'm very happy with that. You go to the studio, you sing for an hour, you come out with a check, and that check is bigger than the entire month ka pay that I was getting as an engineer. So I was, wow, ye to acha hai yaar. But still, I was engineering, I was really enjoying my job too, because I was working on Oracle, on SQL, and developing software for an order processing system for books. Actually, it was books. Lotus Learning. They used to make these childcraft and world book. ऐसा कुछ था. So we were developing the entire software for that. Anyway, I was enjoying that, and जो भी recording आता था, I used to, because I was not depending on that. Oh, how can you call me? Anu Malik used to call me. अरे ये गाना, पूरा गाना has been sung by XYZ singer, but there's 4 bars in between. There's an alap, which I feel that only you can sing. So I used to take it in the positive sense that I used to not think that, oh, why are they calling me to sing only 4 bars of alap? You should never take it that way. You should say that, oh, they're calling me to sing those 4 bars because they feel that only I am capable of singing those 4 bars. Nobody else can sing. So if you take it in that stride, it becomes a positive approach towards anything. So I used to be very happy singing whatever came my way. And honestly, Ashish, my progress has been very organic. Step by step, 4 bars alap became into maybe a song here and there, then it became into a composition, then it became into films, and God has been more than kind. So I think an organic growth, which is a gradual graph, is much better than one spike and then you're forgotten in 1 week. So that's how I believe it.
Yeah, that is a solid foundation. Yeah, and the person who just literally gave you the first full song and it hit there, it's A.R. Rahman. Yeah, so something about A.R. Rahman.
See, A.R. is, A.R. We all started our careers at the same time, and he was. I used to be, running around studios singing jingles and whatever things, and he had come to Mumbai to, do a background score for a film called Bombay, Mani Ratnam's Bombay. So, Shiva Mani was playing the percussion, and it was a wonderful atmosphere. So there was just one scene. If you see there's a riot scene that happens where things are burning and all that. So there was a very dark alap which was there. So I sang that. Then he was doing another film, Humse Hai Mukabla. Urvasi, take it easy, Urvasi. This song had to be dubbed in Hindi. So, and then finally what happened was there was this Rajiv Menon is a fantastic cameraman and a director too. We used to work with him in ads and all that. So he was making a film called Kandu Kondain Kandu Kondain. So he said, Rahman also called and said, there's one song which can you come and sing that? So I went to Chennai and so we started recording at about 8:39 in the night. So about 8:39 in the night to about 11 o'clock, I sang a song called Yenna Solla Pogirai, which won me my first national award. Then about 11 o'clock to about 1 o'clock, I sang a song called Varaga Nadi Karayoram. And about 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, I sang a song called Taniye Tanandaniye. So these three are super mega hits in Tamil. All songs happened, they got recorded in one night. And I caught the 6 o'clock morning flight and I came back to Bombay. So in one night, pretty much, the whole of Tamil Nadu and people living all over the world speaking Tamil, they came to know about this voice, So big thanks to AR. I mean, anybody would have sung the song. It is a great song, so he would have got the national award, but I was the lucky one.
Yeah, and that schedule still goes on, huh? Throughout the day, throughout the night you're recording. And sir is never tired. Yeah.
No.
And so Dil Chahta Hai changed the equation completely. So it revolutionized. Another question comes, again maybe it's a silly thing to ask, but still, because I am having the question. See, all of you three didn't have any so-called ambition of becoming the music composers of Bollywood music industry. And Dil Chahta Hai could have gone either way, because it was super experimental stuff.
Yeah.
So there was every chance of it not being that successful. Had it not happened, had it not hit the roof, SCL would have...
You never know. See, I'll tell you something. Dil Chahta Hai, when we did Dil Chahta Hai, we did not have any baggage of any previous hits, that, we have to live up to our previous hit. We were just doing it. I mean, we were doing whatever we wanted to do. It was Farhan's first film. He was also, basically, I mean, even when you write poetry, you have to look at something that's beyond barriers. You have to look at something that is fresh, a new approach. For example, this song that I sang, Dil Chahta Hai, the title song, this was not meant to be the title song. It was this, we had this, a bass line called dum 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 dum, dum 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 dum. So we thought it's a very interesting bass line and we were making some other song from there. And this song was supposed to be in that situation, the romantic situation of, right now the song is Jaane kyun log pyar karte hain. That song was not there. This song was supposed to be there. But then we were all staying in Khandala and I was brushing my teeth and I said, oh my God, this dum 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 dum, this fits exactly like a Lego on the title, the poetry Dil Chahta Hai. It just fits in there, So that is the beauty of music and poetry going together. So I just came out running. I said, hey man, scrap this. I mean, that's not the situation. This is the title song and this is how it's going to be. And then everybody agreed to it and that's how it happened. So anyway, that way anything could have happened, anything cannot have happened. There is somebody up there who is controlling your path. So just leave it. And I think the best way to do it is not try to make a hit song, I think try to focus on your song, try to create something that you yourself have not created in the past. Look at new notes, look at new lyrics, look at new thought processes, approaches, and eventually then that will become a hit. So don't try to make a hit song directly.
Excellent. Yeah. So to get things faster, in your career, you have been working with so many great poets. But I would love to take names of 3 definitive poets of the century. And you please tell something about all the 3. Number 1 is Prasun Joshi. So something about Prasun Joshi.
Yeah, Prasun, I know Prasun even before he became this amazing lyricist in the industry. Because when I was in the advertising industry, he was, he was not heading McCann, he was working for McCann Erickson. That time, it was McCann Erickson that time. And he used to be working and, dynamic personality. And his passion, see, he used to be in the corporate world, he used to be, maybe it's about a pain relief balm that we are making an ad. But the passion was about music and poetry, even for that, you know. So I used to always connect with him because he was eternally, he's a very strong musician. And then, of course, after many years, we worked together on many projects. But one project that is very, very significant in our lives, and I think in everybody's lives, is a film called Tare Zameen Par, if you have seen Tare Zameen Par. And a very, very important song that he wrote, which, in an artist's life, there are milestones, which you count on as you progress. When you reach a particular destination, you look back and you see your milestones. Kya kiya hai. I think in the body of work, one of Prasunji's songs, that is Tare Zameen Par, the song called Ma, is very, very important in my life, and I'm sure that song has gone even beyond the film. It's no longer about Tare Zameen Par, it's no longer about Shankar Ehsaan Loy or Amir Khan or anybody. It is about the mother. When anybody thinks about mother, this song is played. So I think this is one very big achievement.
Just one line of that song, please.
One line, 3 lines will do.
3 lines, please.
मैं कभी बतलाता नहीं, पर अंधेरे से डरता हूँ मैं माँ। यूं तो मैं दिखलाता नहीं, तेरी परवाह करता हूँ मैं माँ। तुझे सब है पता है ना माँ, तुझे सब है पता मेरी माँ। जब भी कभी पापा मुझे जो जोर से झूला झुलाते हैं माँ, मेरी नजर ढूंढे तुझे, सोचू यही तू आके थामेगी माँ। उनसे मैं ये कहता नहीं, पर मैं सहम जाता हूँ माँ। चेहरे पे आने देता नहीं, दिल ही दिल में घबराता हूँ माँ। तुझे सब है पता है ना माँ, तुझे सब है पता मेरी माँ। Mother is such a character now that in everybody's lives, she's the only person whom we can take for granted. Tell her anything, she's always there, and her only worry is, खाना खाया क्या, सोया क्या ठीक से. So that is what is mother all about.
Excellent. Nothing actually can be spoken after this. So something about Gulzar sir.
Oh my God! I mean, in this lifetime, if I got an opportunity to interact with a person like Gulzar sir, I feel that I have achieved something in life, because he's such a person that he's not very easily approachable, accessible, because he's there in his own world and he's somewhere else, and he's Gulzar for all that matter. Now that the fact that I can pick up my phone and I can just talk to him, chat with him. This is how my conversation I'd like to share with you all, how it happens with Gulzar sir. Early morning, his phone will come. I'll be driving to the studio. Haan, bolo. Pul ke kis par? I live in a place called New Bombay, which is connected by a bridge. Mumbai and Navi Mumbai is connected by a bridge. So Gulzar sir's first statement will be, अच्छा बोलो पुल के किस पार हो? Meaning, which side of the bridge are you in now? So the reason why he's asking is if I cross the bridge, we don't have too much time to talk because I'll be reaching the studio. You know, if I'm पुल के उस पार ही हूँ अभी तक, which means चलो ठीक है, चलो अभी बात करते हैं. So the entire journey, we discuss poetry, we discuss the melody which I've given him, and he'll tell me क्या ये word इधर चलेगा क्या? Does it fit in the meter? The entire music sitting happens. We call it a music sitting. It's a term that you use for music composing, and it happens on the phone. And I feel so privileged that I can talk to him, call him, go to his house, you know, have lunch with him, have tea with him, discuss anything I want. I really feel blessed because he's one of the greatest artists who's living there in our industry right now, with the greatest poetry. And he's just amazing. He's just too loving. I'll tell you, sorry, the greatness of an artist is also the humility. For example, we were doing the film with a song called Kajrare. You have heard Kajrare? All of you? That's written by Gulzar Saab. Okay. So we were doing this song, and this idea of this melody called Kajrare came to me with the lyrics. Sometimes when you're composing, you know, dummy lyrics come to you. Gajrare, Gajrare, tere kale, kale naina, kale, kale naina. Gajrare, this was the idea that came to me with the lyrics. So when I was singing it to Gulzar Saab, I sing all these rubbish lyrics I sing in the beginning. They are called dummy lyrics for him to fit in his poetry. You know, for people who are young poets, this is a great way of writing poetry to music. You know, you can take something called dummy lyrics that have absolutely no meaning, but it is exactly fitting in the meter of the melody. You can take those dummy lyrics and remove the meter of those dummy lyrics, analyze them, and put in your lyrical meaning with them. So my dummy lyrics were Kajrare, Kajrare. I thought they were dummy lyrics. But then when Gulzar Saab said, एक काम करता हूँ मैं बाकी सब मैं लिख देता हूँ, लेकिन this Kajrare, Kajrare, Kale Kale Naina, let it remain the way it is because I love it. That's what he said. And he said, let's, instead of Kale Kale Naina, we'll change it to Kare Kare Naina. It'll sound more folk and more, you know, colloquial. So he doesn't have an ego because, oh, I have only to write the main lyrics or anything. He said, oh, this, you have written this, this is a beautiful set of words. Let's just retain this. I will. So that's what makes a Gulzar, you know.
Yeah. So Shankarji was a poet there. Kajrare was written by him.
Oh, no, please.
That's too nice level.
Don't embarrass me. Yeah.
No, sir, this is the fact. Okay, sir. Then finally, Javed Akhtar, sir.
Oh, Javedji was, I mean, somebody who's always with me, standing by me, like a strong pillar of support in this industry. Because, you know, Shankar Ehsan Loy as composers, even as human characters, we are in the industry, but we are little outside the industry. We are not the filmy kind, as you would say, you know. That, so we are a little intimidated by the whole glamour and shosha. We are not that type. We are just purely musicians. Even now, we are musicians and music students. We are only willing to learn and jam and create music. So, when we have a person like Javed Saab, who is such a senior, well experienced, I mean, for all you know, he's written Sholay and Diwar and Shakti and Sita or Gita and I mean Kala Patthar. Can you imagine? This is the person whom we are able to associate on a daily basis, on just can call anytime, go anytime, talk to them, discuss, even argue about lyrics. You know, we have the audacity of arguing about, you know, oh no sir, this doesn't, you know, sound right, because we talk from a phonetic point of view. So we've reached that kind of a relationship where we can even first time when we heard this chamkile din, you know, said Javedji, the chamkile sounds a little he said, Are Baba, with the kind of vocabulary that you have, we can just print a telegram. That's all we can do. Please, yeah, that's what he told us. So he said, please listen to me. These are all new words. When they come out, people get used to it. He used to always cite an example of one of the greatest patriotic songs. मेरे देश की धरती सोना उगले उगले हीरे मोती. So ugle means, you know, literally like you're vomiting. So I mean, then when they heard it first time, they said, Ugle? And that was not coming once. Ugle hi re pati. They said, ye kaun sa gana hai? But then, now everybody's singing it. So it's a matter of just getting used to it. So a lot is to be learned from these great maestros like Javed ji or Prasan Joshi or Gulzar Saab, all these people. It's not only about the poetry, it's not only about your art form, but a lot of other things which are, between the lines. You learn all these things just being with them and experiencing their great aura.
So two more things before somebody can ask you the questions. Something on Shankar Mahadevan Academy, the place where you are going from here. You might be hurrying.
Yeah, I mean, my dear friend Sridhar Ranganathan, stand, I'll let them see you here. So, Sridhar Ranganathan and myself, we are engineering buddies. He was a brilliant student. I was a hopeless student. But we met after 15 years. I was busy doing my music, and he being a tech genius, he was there in the Bay Area, and making companies, selling companies, doing some amazing stuff in the internet world. In fact, he's the one, along with a couple of our friends, who invented the internet coming on mobile devices. So he belongs to that era. When you remember, I don't know, many of you might know, when you used to switch on the internet, those sounds used to come. He used to do all those things. Anyway, so after that we met after 15 years because somehow he wanted to come back to India and he wanted to do something over here in our country. And I also wanted to do something which is not only about performing, singing, recording, where by God's grace I had my enough amount of success. So he said we have to give back something and leave back something, a legacy which is going to remain for a long, long time. And the only way of doing that is music education. So music education is something which is great, but still music education is not that formal in our country. So we formed this Shankar Mahadevan Academy, and we decided let's do it online because you're defying geography. You can just have students from all over the world. You don't need to have one academy, one place, and only students from that area come to that. So we started the academy. It's 13 years now, 14 years. Today it's 14 years actually, and we are present in about 95 countries, teaching Indian classical music. And we have hundreds of teachers. We've done over 500,000 classes. We have done all kinds of music we teach, Hindustani, Carnatic, folk music. We are also reviving a lot of old bandishes, compositions, great writers. I mean, we have to have another session on Shankar Mahadevan Academy later. But I'd like to speak about a few other interesting things, like we do music for the palliative care, terminally ill patients. We do music for and raise money for musicians who are suffering, like some Nadaswaram players or Shehnai players. During COVID, they were completely wiped out. We use music as a tool to create songs which bring about change in society, creating awareness about the girl child, about rape, about AIDS, about cancer. I mean, music is a very powerful tool. So we are using the academy and music as a tool to not only entertain people, but using music for many other purposes. That is the Shankar Mahadevan Academy.
Excellent. Music is a source of joy, sir, and music.
Yeah, but I'm a small part. Of course, I contribute to it, but the main thing is Sridhar Ranganathan. He is the brain and he is the executor. See, artists like us, हम लोग को ख्याली पुलाव रोज बनता है. Oh, let's do this, let's do that. But you need a person like Sridhar Ranganathan to take it forward and make it happen in 95 countries.
And so finally coming to the end of the great session that I'm having with you, something on Sangeeta ma'am.
Sangeeta ma'am is my wife, by the way. And I can just say that it's one of those, I don't know whether it's a rare case, but it is a case of a very successful love story. That's what I can say. And we've been in love for 10 years, and then we got married, and now we're married for 32 years. So I know her for 42 years right now. And I have two wonderful children. Sri Siddharth and Shiva. And for a father, I think it's the greatest blessing when you can stand on stage with both your children and perform with them. You know, so that is the greatest blessing that I've got. And I would say that I dedicate my music and whatever I do creatively or otherwise, the joy and the happiness in my life and my existence is because of Sangeeta. That's the only thing I can say. Thank you very much for bearing with us, and I wish you all the very best, and may you all have a superb poetry festival. May you all hear some amazing poetry, and I'll ask Shani to send me some good poetries. Maybe if I see some interesting stuff, I can compose that to music also.
Sir,
So
sir,
that-
two.
Sir, one line of Gananayakam.
Oh yeah, sure. गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणवन्दिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि.
Maybe two questions.
Yeah. Don't ask me difficult questions, please. Yeah, go for it.
Hello sir, my name is Akhilesh.
Hi, Akhilesh.
A very huge fan of yours. I'm an influencer as well. So I'm
जरा इसका वो सब डाल के थोड़ा reels
already डाल चुका हूँ sir.
views बढ़ा देना.
डाल दिया. So actually I wanted to talk about Shakti and remembering Shakti. A huge fan of actually the band itself. When I
I'm
was
also
a
a
young
very big fan. Yeah.
sir, it's actually my favorite. When I was a child, accidentally my uncle used to listen to it, and I used to listen to that at that time, the Shakti.
Yeah.
So from there, and when I heard the Grammy Award, and I was like, when I remember it, when I shared it to my uncle, he was like, he reminded me of this, and I was like, I wanted to ask one thing is, how is it working with such a maestro of Zakir sir and John sir? Yes, it was
Yeah,
really
this is,
amazing.
you know, there is a saying which people say, if your intention is very strong, if your passion is very strong, if you want something really to happen from the deepest, part of your heart, the universe gives it to you. And that is a perfect example that happened with me. You know, when I was as young as this girl who was sitting there, I must be like this. I used to listen to Shakti. This was 50 years back in school. There was a small shop in Chembur called Embassy Cassettes. We used to buy cassettes. Any new album of Shakti used to come out. There was an album called Natural Elements. I don't know whether you heard it. This is a legendary album. So I used to listen to it like I'm studying. I used to never study for an exam as much as I would listen to a Shakti cassette and analyze the music because it was phenomenal. And my very strong intention and desire was to at least meet these people one day. How can you create music? This is a true example of making fusion music and taking Indian classical music beyond barriers, you know. So I wanted to just meet them one day when I was in school and maybe take a picture or something like that. And the universe gave it to me. One day I got a call from my friend Tawfiq Qureshi, and he's telling me, you know what, Shankar, and we keep doing a lot of mischief with each other. I have some very sad news for you. So I said, what happened? He said, you know what, Shakti, they want to audition you for the vocals. So I was like, oh my God. And I was in the middle of some other film recording that was happening in a studio called Galactica, I remember. I told Ehsan and Lloyd, can I just take a break for like 5 minutes? I want to do something. So I took a break and I told them to just put any groove, any music, just like a beat, and give me a shruti. And I sang Rag Todi, improvised on Rag Todi for about 10 or 11 minutes without even thinking. Sometimes you write even before you think. Sometimes you sing even before you think. It was just like that. Fat, 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 fat. I recorded something on that drum groove. I recorded. I said, okay, print a CD. I printed the CD and I sent it to Tawfiq Bhai and I said, just send it to John G. Because John G was looking for some few voices from India who can feature in the Shakti band. And Shakti music is very, very difficult, So, I mean, they had shortlisted 3-4 names, but then I was a lucky one. John G heard the CD for about 30 seconds. He just heard 30 seconds, put the CD off, immediately he called me. He said that, we are coming to India and will you play with us? So then I said, wow, this is a divine thing from above, And so that was just for one concert which is supposed to happen called Saturday Night Live in Mumbai. One concert. I sang with them for one concert. Immediately after the concert, he asked me, can you become a permanent member of the band? So it was a divine, blessing for me. That's how Shakti happened.
You're a trained classical singer, beyond Bollywood. And the first time I ever heard you was in Unplugged and Coke Studio. This is the first time that experimental music had ever been brought onto television, making it a completely different reach from cassettes. And when I met Ranjit Banod also, I said I have to divide this thing, harass the Ministry of Education to revive you guys. Tell us a bit more about that journey, because this is the first time that experimental music was made available on television to people, and frankly it was the first time I've ever heard.
See, actually, for me, even in my journey, ma'am, Bollywood, or you call it, I don't like the word Bollywood, Indian film music is just one part of my journey. See, it's like a person who writes poetry. Okay, now if a person gets influenced to write great poetry by only listening to filmy songs, you can imagine what would be his range, his spectrum of influences. It will be very limited, I think to become a good poet, your influences should be, you should read poetry from some great poets, some literature, some great novels, some great works of some of the maestros of the past. Then even if you write a commercial poetry, why is a Gulzar Saab different from, or a Javed Akhtar Saab different? Because their influence is not only film music. Their influences is, it's all over. Similarly for me, the thing that has given me immense recognition is my film music, I agree. But that is not the only thing that excites me, It's going beyond that. It is taking, our classical music is so rich. It's like water, it finds its place anywhere. You put me in a, heavy metal band also, or you put me in an acid jazz band, or, even if it's an experimental band, I will find my way there, because my 7 notes and my foundation of Indian classical music is very strong. So that is the beauty of our music. So that is what we were trying to do with platforms like Coke Studio or Fusion Music, or with taking Indian music and trying to find a way. It's like, how water can find its way anywhere and go and settle down over there. Yeah. So it's like that.
So you are one of the rare people inspired of getting freed from this
rare species.
Who literally took India to the doorstep of the world.
There are many other people. I'm just...
not from the mainstream, sir. Not many from the mainstream. Surely. So one more question somebody said.
So Shankar sir, sitting here, we've been in the 8th edition of BPF. We don't have a theme song. So if you were to compose a theme song now,
can you give me a line?
Super. I think everyone here is a volunteer of BPF, so many poets here. So a line, please.
Bangalore loves its poetry. Oh, Bangalore loves its poetry.
That's not poetic enough. That doesn't. See, that sounds like a corporate jingle. Bangalore loves its poetry. This will sound like a jingle only. Whatever you do. If you write something poetic, ta-ra-ra-ra, ta-ra-ra, ta-ra-ra-ra, ra-ra-ra, ta-ra-ra-ra, ra-ra-ra, ta-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra, Aata Galata. This is like thinking, this is like singing before thinking. अब ये मेलोडी लो और इसमें पोएट्री लिखो आप लोग. Okay, we're done. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shankar ji. I think all of us here now know a little bit about the man behind the magic, so we're really privileged to be here at this session. Shankar ji will be signing copies of his book, The Musical Maverick, written by Ashis Ghatak, outside of this hall. So those of you who are interested, please do go and get your personal copies signed. Thank you.